Hey, are you struggling in your calculus courses? Do you want to get ahead of your peers? Whether you have a PhD in psychology, but then you go broke because Andrew Tate said depression isn't real, now you need a better degree, or you're an engineering major, confused as shit of what your professor explains because he provides less knowledge than what a French fry from McDonald's gives, or you're actually this kid and you want to be the next Stephen Hawking. Well, then you came to the right place because in this video, I will provide some guidelines so that you, fellow math enjoyer, get an A++ on your calc classes and barely skim out and failing in literally every other class. You might want to stick around because the last tip is probably the most important one. Oh, and did I mention that it's free? Obviously, starting off, and I can't state this enough, you have to know algebra. How do you know enough already? But if you're struggling to answer most of these questions, maybe you should reconsider your options. Because trust me, you'll need to pull trig identities out of the behind hole during the test. If you are sure you get the algebra, you then ask yourself, can I get Elon's microchip in my brain? If you can, why are you here? If not like the rest of us, then you go to this. Chances are you've probably watched it before. This is 3 Blue 1 Brown's Essence of Calculus series, available free here on YouTube. You should watch it. It's fucking good. Assuming you don't know what calculus is yet, you probably won't fully get everything right away. I mean, it's a whole different concept from algebra. No shit, right? But what I got from it, and what you may get the first time around, was an appreciation of a kind of art form. Specifically for me, when he explained about Taylor series and how you can represent and approximate functions. The series illustrates a lot of the main points of Calculus 1 and 2, because while uni professors usually just throw formulas, and even more formulas for you to remember, Grant manages to visualize each concept in such a remarkable way that it may even spark an interest for the subject in you. The explanations for things like E and integrals are fucking impossible to find in a university lecture. Like, literally. After the brief yet insightful introduction, this is where you should learn problem solving because you're gonna have to pass some exams. What I recommend is a combination of Professor Leonard's lectures and a lot of Black Pen, Red Pen videos. And if you have calculus homework, it's always great practice. That no one wants to do. Professor Leonard, quite literally known for helping students ace many different math courses. I'm one of them. Many main concepts and formulas from Grant's series are presented here. You may or not remember the intuition for some of them, since Professor Leonard won't show you the fancy schmancy animations for each whack-ass formula. But he does try to make you understand and derive most of the equations, which is good. Here, listen to what he has to say on his first lecture.
What we're doing. I would hate for you to get through this class, right, and at the end of it, know how to take derivatives and integrals and have no idea what you're doing. You can be successful on just doing derivatives and integrals in this classroom. But if you don't understand what it is you're actually doing with those things, you don't even know what they are right now. But if you don't understand what you're doing, it's irrelevant. You're now just doing formulas. It sucks. If you know what it comes from, what you're actually doing, I'm going to make sure you know, by the way, it's a little bit more interesting and you can apply it to more things. Do you get the picture?
He's also really good at showing the steps for solving examples for each topic, which is why you can follow his methods or just use your own to do the examples that he shows, then check in if you got it correct. They're great practice questions for applying the concepts or formulas learned. Black Pen Red Pen, another great YouTuber, has plentiful of questions for target practice as well. While he swaps each pen like a fucking ninja master. It's kinda cool, not gonna lie. He has great exam-like questions and solving methods that are very useful in an exam. Notably, the DI method for integration by parts, and the steps for doing the epsilon delta bullshit. God, I hate those. Together with Professor Leonard, you'll breeze past each course if you put in these efficient hours. This is where I should say that there isn't a single surefire way to understand a certain topic. Nothing is perfect. But a correct combination of the non-perfect things will definitely deepen your understanding. Now, understanding each concept and idea is obviously fucking hard. And it takes time. which is why a lot can't explain what they're doing, even if they're doing seemingly well. Wow, you got 100% on the last exam. You're so good. Hey, teach me how you did this question. You just have to remember the formulas. Oh, God. But if you want not to just destroy each and every exam thrown at you, but also indulge the fact that humans manage to somehow fuck with infinity, you'd have to ask yourself questions and then seek answers to those questions. This should be the main point to take away from this video, not just for calculus, but for anything in life you want a deeper understanding of. The more questions you list out, the better you will understand something. And I can't repeat this enough. Please ask questions either to yourself or your professor. You will always have questions, so just please list them out. Back to math, a rewatch of 3 Blue 1 Brown series after finishing Calc 1 and 2 is a good start. You're gonna have a lot of those aha moments, connect deeper connections for each topic, because a lot of the main questions you will have are answered in this series. For Grant's intuition of the fundamental theorem of calculus, it is absolutely amazing, no doubt. But if you manage to cook up a more rigorous approach yourself, using the video as a guideline, it would absolutely fill you in on one of the most important concepts of calculus. But not all questions will be answered. So go to your best friend. I'm talking about Google. An amazing website called MathStack Exchange is an absolute goldmine for answers to pretty much every math question out there. Quora, random YouTube videos, and hell, even Reddit will sometimes have very good answers specifically to your question. Okay, look, some dude wrote about his toilet paper length approximation formula. That is already absurd enough. And then this motherfucker wrote a whole damn thesis as a response. It's fucking beautiful if you ask me. So there has to be a dude out there who asked the same question you have on a website before. And when a question is asked, there will always be some other smartass that will answer. So go find answers to those glaring questions you listed out. So why should anyone do this? Why should you use such valuable time for understanding such an elementary subject, of which is calculus? I mean, getting an A for that class is cool and all, and it may lead you to a better job than a psychologist, but there's no real need for diving into the depths of a subject if you don't want to be the one teaching, right? Well, I'd argue against that, because I'm just kidding. I just personally think that knowing what I'm doing might just be useful later on. It could be applicable to some things if I actually understand it. And especially if you're not a math major, you wouldn't go deeper into the nitty gritty of math itself. And you wouldn't be able to appreciate the processes for the field you're in. So go out there. There's plenty to learn for free out in this wild place known as the internet. Hopefully, you guys or gals can go learn a thing or two. Or fuck it. Calculus, am I right?